Hello. All right, we are Export to Excel, and this is Tracing the Bigfoot Steps. I'm going to hand it over to our expert, Brittany, if it would advance. It doesn't want to. There we go. All right, so can we track Bigfoot's patterns?
Thank you. All right, so across thousands of Bigfoot sightings in North America, the stories vary. But the question remains the same. Is there a pattern? Can we actually trace the conditions that make a Bigfoot sighting more likely to occur? Well, our team analyzed decades of reported sightings, combining environmental data, location records, and meteorological, I can't pronounce that word, I'm sorry, meteorological conditions to see whether we could find a scientific footprint behind the legend. So to find out, we examined variables like temperature, humidity, UV index, cloud cover, dew point, and location. The most critical environmental conditions that we were looking at were average temperature, average UV index, average humidity, average cloud cover, and average dew point. We also mapped the Bigfoot sightings by geolocation, and then those are also color-coded for Class A, B, and C sightings, as well as some filters for interactivity. We weren't just looking for where Bigfoot was seen, but what the world looked like when he supposedly appeared, the climate, the light, the air. This meant treating each sighting as a data point in an ecosystem. The goal, uncover whether Bigfoot's appearances align with consistent environmental factors. Across all reported sightings, we found a striking level of consistency. The sightings concentrated in the Pacific Northwest. Over 2/3 of the seasonality for the sightings were, can we go back to the other one? 2/3. 2/3 of all of the sightings happened in summer and fall, with the most frequent sightings occurring in summer. And yes, most of the sightings concentrated in the Pacific Northwest, although he's seen everywhere throughout. Sightings peaked around 2000, and the actual year was 2004. Unfortunately, we can't go back in time, but we, in the present day, can look at those conditions. And then our average temperature was 57.8 degrees Fahrenheit, average humidity 70%, meaning that most sightings happen in mild, damp air. The average UV index was 5.16, suggesting moderate sunlight. Cloud cover averaged at 43.9%. The dew point hovered near 46 degrees, indicating humid but breathable conditions. And when we mapped these sightings geographically, the pattern became clear. Honestly, Bigfoot, the best night to see Bigfoot is a midsummer night, a warm, humid night with partial cloud cover, just enough to obscure visibility, a little bit, and that tends to be when most people see Bigfoot.
Or at the ASU data conference, we might have a little furry friend coming around to say hi. Uh-oh. Where'd he go? I don't see that average visibility out here.
So, warm, humid evenings when temperatures sit between 55 and 65 degrees. Humidity hovers around 70% and visibility is reduced by light cloud cover. These are the conditions that match human comfort for outdoor exploration. So Bigfoot has good taste also. But they also align with times when shapes and sounds can blur easily in mist or dusk light. So whether you believe in Bigfoot or not, the data reveals something undeniable. There is a pattern. We might have found Bigfoot today. And we also found his favorite weather. And that is our, thank you.
files from the Learning Engineering Institute. All right, you got the Zoom link? These are both live.
Competition is a crime. Competition is a crime.
All right.
Yeah. My code would not even run for 15 minutes. How can I do anything right now?
Do your best. Great. Just X out those two things.
And then do you have the...
Just exit out. Just X. Yeah. Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Take a minute and I'll get the 5 minutes started.
I got you. Just hold it. Does it work? It does work. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to watch our demise. This competition was more intense than expected. Yes. That's a good thing, right? Yeah. So what are the optimal conditions for a Bigfoot sighting? These are cool pictures. I'm going to lean on them a lot for this. These are us. And that is how we felt during this competition. I predicted it before it happened, so that's good. Obviously, the variables in the data that we focused on were the location, weather, temperature, and time of day, which we did not have enough time to fully analyze and present to you, but had plans to do. So what we did was A, hope for a more exotic research question. These hopes did not pan out. Number 2, panic. And then we did more things, like try to understand the individual conditions and build a dashboard for univariate analysis, which Vipin will talk about.
Yep.
We also tried to run several regressions where computers crashed and nothing worked.
I tried random forest. It ran
so-
for 30 minutes.
If it seems like we initially already gave up when we started, that is not the case. We had many big plans, and I'll gladly tell you about all of them without visualizing them other than an interpretive dance.
We did a lot of homework, but it did not pan out while we were here. So we did some predictive modeling. But eventually, I had to use logistic regression in the last 5 minutes. Sorry, what did just happen? Yeah, so what we found from that regression is like these are the best predictors. These are the latitude, longitude, temperature being 80.01 is being temperature high, low being 7.29, dew point being 49.2, 49.97. What's going on here?
You need to move
Humidity being 0.83, cloud coverage being 0.58, moon phase being 0.62, and so on.
Cool. So additional things we did. How do you move this? No. You did what? Thank you. Cool. Like you've seen, we've computed the most predictive variables in a random forest prediction. We tried to model the interaction between the most impactful variables. We did not succeed in completing that analysis in the time that we had. And another analysis we did not fully complete was extracting the time of day in which the sightings occur from the text, categorize them as like larger categories of time of day, and from those time of day, try and extract the most likely temperature, because we had 3 categories. So that was meant to be a combination of those things. Also, we wanted to focus on the category A sightings because we believe them more, I guess. So that seemed like a more likely bet for if we're actually trying to figure out what is the most likely, what are the most likely conditions to find a Bigfoot. So these are some of the most predictive variables in the random forest classifier. And we've also created a dashboard to explore the different variables. That's the
We can take the map of the sightings.
yeah. So these have the maps of the sightings, and they're color coded. Where the maroon ones are the Class A,
Yes.
the gold ones are the Class B, and gray ones are Class C. You can't see them, but they're there.
Last 10 seconds, we go to slide 8.
Last 10 seconds, I go to slide 8. Yes. So what are the optimal conditions for a Bigfoot sighting? The most favorable conditions occur when temperatures are mild and the air, they'll know that from everyone else's presentations. They all did a really good job. We offer some new thing that others don't, which is our spirit and personalities. And that might bias something. Thank you, everyone.
Big round of applause for the data files. Good job, guys. I love the spirit of doing a analysis, running a regression, and during this. That's crazy that you did it, and I think it's awesome, and I love it. All right, cash me if you can. Come on up.
My name is Kunjan.
Hi, my name is Ravi. Hello everyone, I'm Vanshaj and we are part of team Cash Me If You Can, the perfect title for this particular theme. So what question we are answering today? So what is the most optimal conditions for a Bigfoot sighting? Let's dive deep into our analysis, like what have we found? To just give you a context, this is the data that we were working at. So we have over 3,000 sightings all across US, where majority of them were Class A or Class B. And this data contains data from 1949 till 2021. So based on our analysis, the average temperature, which is the most optimal, is 57.8. And in this data, we are covering 49 states. Now, because we consider the optimal sighting, we wanted to just look at Class A data, and let's dive deep into that. So the best season, according to us, is this summer, where we have most sightings. And yeah, that's pretty obvious from this graph that we have most of the sightings in summer season. But let's dive deep. What days are the best for these summers? So you can see in June, July, August are most heavy, but especially on Saturdays, because yes, people love hiking on weekends. So yes, so Saturday is the most preferred day where you can see the Bigfoot. But what about the weather? So based on our analysis, we found out that cloudy weather is the best weather conditions where you can head out, and luckily you can see a Bigfoot. Let's talk about the temperature. So yes, based on our findings, the temperature, if it's in a range of 65 to 70, that would be a perfect temperature, perfect weather conditions for your exploration. And yes, make sure to have your sunscreens ready. So check UV index as well. It should be in between 3 to 4. That's what I would say Bigfoot also prefers. I'm not sure how. Okay, and lastly, over the distribution of regions, we believe that South region or West region would be the best one, but yes, specifically Washington and Ohio. So anyone from Washington, Ohio, you can cheer. You can have more chance of Bigfoot sightings. Okay, now, based on this analysis, we invited our friend Jared here. He voluntarily accepted to take our data and head on to a journey for Bigfoot exploration. So let's see how it ends. Yeah, so here Jared is sharing about his. Okay, so, oh, sorry. Yes. So this was all our analysis. Like this is how we helped identify where we can, what's the best optimal situation to find a Bigfoot. And thanks to Jared, who actually accepted our suggestions and actually found one. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Man, you guys are going all out this year. All right. The gang wins sliced. I have a feeling that Danny DeVito is going to come out in a Bigfoot costume. That would be random. All right. You are up, gang.
Playing Bigfoot, and we are the gang wins sliced. So who is Bigfoot, and what does it have to do with Mitch Hedberg? Bigfoot, as we all know, 7 to 10 feet tall, furry, big feet. What does it have to do with Mitch Hedberg? Well, when I was younger and thought I was really funny, but apparently no one else did, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Mitch Hedberg is a joke. I think Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. It's not the photographer's fault. And that's much scarier to me. There's a large, out-of-focus monster roaming the countryside.
All right, so one bad thing about the current state of the Bigfoot research in the country right now is that there's a lot of people doing things and not making the evidence very clear for who is Bigfoot and where the optimal conditions are. So recently, a lot of people have been trying to determine where's the geographic bands that the Bigfoot might be located in. We've seen some plots like this, which really kind of create this blurry evidence for where Bigfoot might be located. So instead, we decided that if you actually overlay the recent sightings from our preliminary analysis here, it's very clear to see that Bigfoot is most likely to be found in any sort of wooded area. Especially when you look west, we know that there's lots of grasslands and deserts, and you can very clearly see that the Bigfoot sightings are strictly located within those treed areas.
We also, in our kind of storytelling building in this presentation, we thought that, it's easy to throw up a pivot table. It's easy to just say, give me some raw data. But that's just giving you data without a story. And that's just blurry evidence as well. So what you can do is you add color. This is a pivot table that tells the story by itself. So when I share this with someone, they share it with someone, they don't need to tell the story that I told because it tells the story for it. It tells the story of, if you want to see Bigfoot, go out when it's 70 to 90 degrees with high visibility. That way they share it on, the person who sees that knows that already. They don't need to interpret it for themselves.
So we choose not to allow the data to be blurry. Because really, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to Bigfoot, the truth isn't out there. It's right here, and we have it. So if you allow the data to be blurry, you might see a chart like this. There's nothing you can really glean from any of this. Bigfoot may just be a simple creature just like any one of us. Bigfoot might not be looking for rain, overcast, rain light, humid, rain, heavy wind, windy, or snow. When you try to simplify this data, that's when you end up with the insights that'll lead you to the Bigfoot, because all of you busy folks are here. You all have, your time is very valuable. You don't want to go out in all these different conditions and not find the Bigfoot. So when you choose to simplify that data and you remove the blur, you can categorize it in just a few simple areas. So instead of that entire chart and choosing any one of those weather conditions, you can see here clearly that since your time is valuable, that we all know, you can choose to go out in a cloudy condition and have the best opportunity to go find Bigfoot.
So if you're asking what are the optimal conditions to see Bigfoot, go where there's trees, go out when it's a decent temperature and high visibility, and go out when it's cloudy. And so take our advice. See who this Bigfoot really is.
Hang on, I'm going to mute my laptop. That's distracting. Oh. Apparently, muting my laptop also changes the page. All right, so here we go. My gosh. All right, I'm going to walk away from my laptop. All right, so this is a Bigfoot visitor's guide, optimizing your chances for a sighting through data with the Pie Chart Pirates. To begin with, if you're trying to see Bigfoot, you're going to want to go out in either summer or fall. Those are your top chances. He likes those times. And you can see the trend over time for sightings. They peaked in 2004. So if you really want to see them on your trip, rent a time machine. Here you'll see a heat map of sightings by state. Washington is Bigfoot country, but you'll also notice some other ones like Florida that I don't really understand, but Bigfoot has his preferences. This one's interesting. We did a text analysis tokenizing on individual words and then a frequency analysis of those words. And what you're looking at now is the analysis of the location description in the data set. So what I want to draw attention to are words like river, creek, forest, bridge, woods, hill, mountain, etc. So if you really want to see them, you're going to go to any wooded area around water. Here we're seeing optimal weather conditions for Bigfoot. Average humidity around 70.6% is ideal, along with average temperature of 57.8. I believe that was the midpoint temperature for the day, average temperature for the day. And in summary, so across this data set, we had 3,396 sightings, average temperature of 70.6, average temperature of 58. Maximum best chance for sightings was Washington, and the best year was 2004. Okay, yeah. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you to the Pie Chart Pirates. All right, very big round of applause for our participants. You guys all did awesome. While the judges are working, we do have a gift for everybody who participated, and we got signed copies of Cole's before and after book for all of you. So we're going to give that out to all the 17 participants now because you guys did such a good job. We realize you're putting yourself out there, you're taking risk, you're presenting in front of people, you're showing off your skills, and we just want to recognize that we appreciate what you're doing. This is the 4th or so year we've done Sliced. I'm crazy psyched by what you guys have done. Like seeing AI videos and models being worked on the fly is way beyond what I've expected when we started this. So just congratulations on what you've done. So we're gonna give the judges a minute to confer and I'll pass out some books and be back in a second to announce the winner. Judges tell me they're ready. So I'm going to come up here, and first thing I'm going to do is show the prize, because we try to, again, reward our folks for what they've done. And this year being the Data Book Club theme, we got a leather notebook cover inscribed with ASU's logo and the 2005 Sliced DataViz champion inside. So for your book of knowledge and your notes that you're taking, this is for the winning team. And I'm going to call up Judge Michelle Welker to announce the team who won. What do you got for us, Judge?
All right. Well, we thought these were great presentations across the board, really creative, really good visualizations. But there was one team that stood above, and that was the Gangwin Sliced. And we liked that they did multivariate analysis, that they pulled different variables together. We liked that they really told a story, and they took kind of a creative turn by telling a story, answering the question about Bigfoot, and also telling a story about data. So great job. Congratulations.
Way to go, gang. Congratulations. It's for each of you. Enjoy. I forgive you, Ethan. You're good. All right. Thank you very much. Guys, grab a seat. And that wraps up Sliced. That wraps up the 2025 Data Conference. I know one of the teams already said they want to enter again next year. And I love that attitude. Thank you all very much. I hope it was time well spent. I hope you learned. Thank you for the volunteers and the organizers. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everybody.